Kawai, a young professional in his mid-20s, moved into a small apartment in a peaceful neighborhood of Japan. On the first day there, he did something thoughtful, something that not everyone would think of. He prepared small but meaningful gifts to say, "Hello, I'm your new neighbor. Hope we get along." When he knocked on the door next to his, it opened to reveal a warm and smiling couple. Billy Shiraki, the husband, greeted him with an easy laugh and a firm handshake. Yuko, his wife, offered a polite bow and an expression that radiated genuine kindness. Billy was an office worker who always seemed to carry a calm energy, while Yuko was a freelance writer who often stayed home, working on articles and short stories. They introduced themselves, exchanged a few friendly words, and thanked Kawai for his thoughtful gift. It was an ordinary introduction, the kind that happens every day, but something about it stayed with Kawai. There was warmth there, an openness that reminded him of the community spirit he often missed in the rush of city living.
Yuko, どうしたの？お客さん？
お隣に越してきた浪人生の河合さん。
あ、どうも。浪人生か。俺も昔浪人で苦労したからな。河合さん、困ったことあったらいつでも相談乗るからね。
ありがとうございます。それでは失礼します。
That simple gesture would quietly set the tone for everything that followed. Over the next few days, Kawai slowly settled into his new routine. Life seemed easy, peaceful, predictable, the kind of calm that feels earned after years of busyness. And yet, beneath that stillness, something was quietly growing. A sense of connection, of belonging to something larger than himself. But Kawai had one flaw that followed him everywhere. He was terribly absent-minded, not in a careless way, but in that endearing, almost funny way some people are when they get lost in thought. It wasn't a serious problem, just one of those quirks that made him who he was. At first, his forgetfulness was harmless. But as every story teaches us, even the smallest habits can create moments that test who we are and what we learn from them. Kawai's story isn't one of dramatic twists or loud confrontations. It's a simple human story about kindness, awareness, and how the smallest acts of care can ripple through everyday life. It's about what happens when we take the time to notice the people around us, and how ordinary connections can quietly change the way we see the world.
本当に申し訳ありませんでした。
大事にならなくてよかったよ。なあ。
そうね。怪我もなくてよかったわ。
河合くん、お腹空いただろ。ご飯でも食べてきなさい。な。
Billy and Yuko became more than just friendly neighbors. They were, in every sense, the kind of people who made the world feel smaller and kinder. Kawai found himself smiling more often, a quiet, genuine smile that came from the joy of being seen. He realized how rare it was, in modern life, to feel truly connected to those who live just a wall away. They invited Kawai to have dinner with them. What started as a brief visit turned into hours of conversation. They talked about work, life in the city, and the little joys that make ordinary days brighter. Yuko, ever curious, asked Kawai about his hobbies. He admitted, a bit shyly, that he liked sketching people and moments that felt peaceful. Billy shared that he had always wanted to learn photography, but never found the time. The evening drifted by effortlessly. It was the kind of night that doesn't need a big event to be memorable. Just laughter, the clink of teacups, and the feeling that everyone in the room truly belongs there. From that on, something shifted in their little corner of the apartment building. The three of them began to look out for one another in quiet, unspoken ways. There was a sense of community that felt almost old-fashioned, a small reminder that kindness doesn't require grand gestures, just consistency.
今日はあまり遅くならないと思うから。
わかりました。
じゃあ行ってくる。
はい。いらっしゃい。気をつけて。
はい。じゃあね。
Kawai's absent-minded nature never truly went away. He would still forget where he placed his glasses or leave his umbrella behind in the hallway. Billy and Yuko teased him gently about it, turning it into a shared joke rather than a flaw. It became a small part of their friendship, a symbol of their growing comfort with one another. Yuko, who once told him that writers often find meaning in the tiniest moments, because that's where real life hides. Perhaps she was right.
ちゃんと朝ごはん食べないと勉強できないよ。どうせ食べてないんでしょ。君の分も作ってあるからおいで。
はい。
He felt thankful, not just for his home, but for the people who made it feel alive. In a world where everyone seemed to rush forward, it felt special to slow down, to share time, to belong. He didn't know that, soon enough, his absent-mindedness would lead to another incident, one that, though harmless, would test what he had learned about responsibility, gratitude, and connection. But for now, he let the quiet evenings settle around him. He watched as a light flickered on in the Shiraki's apartment next door, and a faint sound of laughter floated through the air. It was a small reminder that even in a big city, home isn't just where you live, it's where you're understood.
ああ。ところで最近河合くん見たかい？おととい駅で彼を見てな。なんかげっそり痩せて、まるで正気がないんだよ。
そう。
まるでゾンビみたいだったぞ。もしで悪い点でも取ったのかな。受験生は今が一番大事だ。今度会ったら美味しいもんでも食べさせて元気つけてやってくれよな。じゃあ行ってくるから。
いってらっしゃい。
あ、じゃあな。
いってらっしゃい。
It happened on an ordinary afternoon. Kawai had returned home early from work that day. He set a kettle on the stove to make tea, opened a book on his desk, and sat down. Outside, Yuko was tidying the shared hallway. As she moved past Kawai's door, something caught her attention. A faint smell, sharp and smoky, like paper beginning to burn. She paused, furrowing her brow, and turned toward the apartment. Through the small gap under his door, she saw a thin wisp of smoke curling outward. Her calm expression changed instantly.
河合くん、河合くん。
She knocked on the door, calling out, "Kawai." There was no answer. She knocked again, a little louder this time, and just as she was about to call for help, the door opened, and there stood Kawai, startled. his eyes widening as he noticed the smoke too. Yuko stepped inside, helping him wave away the smoke with a towel. Within moments, the air began to clear. Kawai turned to Yuko, his face flushed with a mix of relief and regret. Yuko smiled gently, shaking her head. "It's all right. You're safe. That's what matters. But next time, keep a closer eye, okay? Even small things can surprise us." Her words were kind, not scolding. That kindness made Kawai feel both grateful and ashamed. He realized how easily things could have gone wrong, even from a simple moment of forgetfulness. Kawai made a quiet promise to himself to be more careful, more aware, and to never take the people around him for granted. He didn't know it yet, but this small promise would change not just how he lived, but how he saw the meaning of connection, gratitude, and life itself. The next morning brought a feeling of quiet renewal, that stillness after a small storm, when everything seemed softer and somehow more meaningful. He realized that awareness isn't just about avoiding mistakes. It's about noticing the life happening around us, the warmth of the sun, the kindness of strangers, the gentle rhythm of a shared world. That evening, Kawai wrote a short note with a sincere thank you and slipped it under Shiraki's door. Yuko smiled as she began writing a story inspired by everyday kindness, about a neighbor who found connection through simple mistakes. Thinking of Kawai, she realized empathy starts small. In the end, Kawai's story reminds us that growth often begins in the smallest moments. Awareness, kindness, and gratitude turn ordinary days into meaningful ones. When we care for the people around us, we don't just build a neighborhood. We build a home, one thoughtful act at a time.